Today we are going to be taking a look at the FC30 game controller by 8bitdo. Now, very quickly, I realise I've been calling it 8bitdo all this time through all of these controller review videos, and I know apparently it's meant to be pronounced 8bitdo, like Nintendo. Well, I don't care. I've been calling it 8bitdo for so damn long now, I'm going to continue to do so. So, meh. Now, with the recent release of the ability to play Game Boy games on your Nintendo Switch, I have loved it, but I felt like I don't have the correct kind of controller to fully enjoy these games. I wanted something more like an NES controller. I am a big fan of the 8-bit rectangular controllers. I just think they're awesome. They look great, they play great, they're all fantastic. I grew up with the Master System controller. Yes, it has its flaws, but it is still a great controller. The NES controller is the standard. It is the symbol of retro gaming. It is a perfect controller. Then, of course, you have the Japanese equivalent, the Famicom controller. Now, this thing, obviously, works just as well as an NES controller, but it looks more dynamic. I've always loved the appearance of the Famicom controller. Now, I won't lie. The first controller I went for, when I decided I want to play Game Boy games with an NES controller, wasn't the one you're about to see. I actually went for this thing. But I couldn't find one anywhere online. They appear to be sold out everywhere. So by sheer fluke, I encountered the FC30. Going cheap on Amazon. Just so you know, it's not cheap anymore. The deal has ended. I'm sorry. So I bought this controller thinking it would be everything I wanted it to be. But is it? Let's find out. So now that we have the thing out of the box, first thing I gotta mention is, what is this? There's a strange piece of plastic attached to it. I don't know why. Maybe it's just for people that think the controller feels too small, too weird. I don't know. I don't like it. I'm getting rid of it. And I'll quickly take off this plastic because I'm getting far too much glare from my lights. Now, first of all, we can all agree that this has maintained the Famicom's classic dynamic look. It does look awesome. The buttons feel perfect. No complaints here. They're everything I want them to be. It does have the inclusion of 2 shoulder buttons, only 2 though, when we usually require 4 in this modern age. All buttons do have that expected quality from 8bitdo though. It even includes the ridge around the controller to match the original design from the original Famicom controller. Here we have the charging slot on top, as well as power indicator and charging one that probably doubles as a sync indicator. If you'll notice here, the plastic on the back is actually a matte finish, whereas on the front it's a glossy finish. The glossy plastic is more prone to slipping and getting scratched, unfortunately. All around, it certainly feels good and strong. It does feel light, but as a viewer recently pointed out, that should not be considered a sign of having a strong product. So, just to try and show you, I'll squeeze the controller in the center as strong as I can. There's no sign of movement, doesn't seem to give way at all. And I've just noticed it has a keyring in the box as well, for the happy memory of old days. In memory of FC July 15th, 1983? I'm guessing this is to celebrate the birth of the Famicom? It's pretty cool. I've never got a keyring for free with a controller before. I've got some random stuff, but I've never had a keyring, I don't think. Even the cable has gone Famicom crazy. I mean, look at the color design. So far, I've only mentioned good things. Now for the bad. When I originally bought this controller, I swear I saw somewhere that it was compatible with the Nintendo Switch. Well, it is. And it isn't. It is not compatible with the Switch when it first comes out of the box. To sync it to a Switch, you need the latest firmware. But even on the 8bitdo website, this information doesn't seem to exist. The controller isn't even listed in discontinued products. Well, believe it or not, the firmware is there, but it's hidden. I emailed 8bitdo, and the next day I got a response from them. It turns out that the required firmware was right in front of me. It's this one. But you would never know that without being told. It's under the name of a different product. So this link that's provided on the site and in this email will also be offered in a link to this video. So if you have this controller and are getting the same problem I had, the answer is right here for you. Once that non-idiot friendly process is finally complete, we are finally able to try some NES games. Excuse my terrible gameplay, I'm looking at this through the camera. The controller feels great and the lag is unnoticeable, at least for me, but due to the lack of buttons, aka the missing 2 shoulder buttons, it is impossible for me to quit out of the game. Unless there's some sort of button configuration to make it happen, but I don't know of it. There isn't even a home button, seeing as this controller was not initially designed with the Switch in mind. It's not the end of the world, seeing as I can sync back up really quickly, but it is annoying if I wanted to switch games. But otherwise, I can get sucked into a game and still have fun. If I ever want to switch out from a game, I'll just have to quickly use the Joy-Cons provided on the Switch itself, and then switch back to this controller. So in conclusion, this is a great device for anyone looking to improve the NES or Game Boy experience on their Switch. But you will have to go through the hell of a firmware update, and you cannot quit out of the game with the controller alone. But what do you think of this product? It looks the part, it feels the part, and it certainly seems to play the part, but there are a few annoying factors that you should take into consideration. Thank you very much for watching this episode of GamePoke. If you enjoyed it, please click like or leave a comment, it's all good. And if you want to help out the channel, please click subscribe, it really does help. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.